customers, but also to devote our investment to technology and sites that at the end will help to improve the customer experience. In the meantime, we look forward to Member States implementing the amended GSM Directive by 9 May 2010 to allow refarming of the 900 MHz and 1800 MHz bands for UMTS. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. The time was excellent, I have to say. And then we have Mr. Lombardini from the European Competitive Telecommunications Association.
Thank you. I speak on behalf of ECTA, knowing that I'm the CEO of Iliad, a triple play operator in France, which got very recently a mobile license. So the debate of today is very important for us. Just to give you some figures, today the need for spectrum is huge and growing very, very quickly. We used to be happy with 2 megs per month for a voice consumer on the mobile. With a BlackBerry, you need around 25 megs per month. With an iPhone, you need around 300 megs per month. And with a 3G card on a laptop, you need close to 900 megs a month. So it says what is the market and where it is going. The new entrants are usually the innovators, but to succeed in the mobile business, in the interest of consumers, because in France, mobile is very expensive, we need first, and it is not the debate of today, low MTR, to favor convergence and to avoid the club effects of the incumbents. And we need access to spectrum through license, but also through roaming agreements and regulated MVNO agreements. The digital dividend is a fantastic opportunity to push innovation and to strengthen competition. But to succeed, we need first to avoid preemption of spectrum by the incumbents, because as they have very huge cash flows, it would be quite easy for them if there is not a strong enough regulation to take control of most of the capacities. And to do that, the criteria should be, in our mind, the real need for bandwidth. Today, in France, for instance, all the operators have enough bandwidth, but they will try to get additional bandwidth in the coming attribution. And the second aspect would be the need of the new entrants for capacities. So I think the interest would be to push those 2 aspects. It would lead to the following principles. In the attribution of the digital dividend capacity, we would see 1 block for a wholesale-only operator with a deep coverage of the population. So using this capacity to have really a good coverage of the population, 5 megahertz blocks, which is enough with LTE for new entrants, avoiding a pure auction process for the new entrants to be able to get capacities, and for all the capacities, an open access for full MVNOs or for data roaming on the new capacities. And in the long term, the policy could be to extend the digital dividend to more than what is envisaged today, pushing the TV usage to MPEG-4. That would permit to get additional capacities and to favor a second market, a regulated second market of spectrum capacities with a huge flexibility in terms of standards, because today we have handsets which are able to manage plenty of standards altogether, so it makes no sense to dedicate 1 frequency to a standard and to have a cap allotment per operator just to avoid to freeze capacities. And I would say there is really an emergency to have the European institution guidance because the license are granted in the coming months in France, and we know that in those times where money is key, the auction process is always something which is contemplated, and it is probably not the best way to improve the telco industry and the development of competition. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And then we have a final speaker, which is Mr. Laudan from Deutsche Telekom. Please.
Thank you very much. It was already pointed out that the digital dividend can help reducing the digital divide, but it will also help to improve quality, just mentioning indoor coverage and mobility. And it will also help to improve fixed broadband, because every base station needs a broadband backhaul, which is usually built up by fiber. When we discuss the digital dividend, we should remember that historically this was military and used by broadcast only for the digital switch over to digital TV. So we have to keep in mind that, or we have to question the legacy which is sometimes stated by broadcast. Some speakers mentioned interference with existing services. In several member states we face a very intensive discussion regarding this potential interference, while we in some other countries have already some more insight. Tests and measurements have been done, and I would like to mention a study which was done in Germany by cable operators, mobile operators, and the regulator, the BNetzA, which clearly showed that there is more or less not very much interference. And we urge the regulator to publish this study, because those who have the intention to show only negative results are doing their business currently. We have a fragmented approach in Europe. It was already mentioned that on the positive side, in some weeks we have the auction of the digital dividend in Germany. In other countries will follow with the auction of the UMTS extension band, which is very much needed by the industry for capacity reasons. On the other side, in other countries, the duration of the broadcast usage within the digital dividend spectrum is still not decided. I would like to mention Austria and several countries in Central and Eastern Europe. The best way to avoid interference and to raise the most benefit is harmonization. Only a harmonized usage throughout Europe will enable us to fully exploit the value of the digital dividend. Regarding the other mentioned services, including public services, there are more opportunities, but for broadband we need large parts of concurrent spectrum. Therefore, the digital dividend is the only opportunity for a rural coverage on short notice. The industry is well prepared. The technology is ready, but we need a stable basis for a long-term investment. And such a long-term investment will ensure the usage which was asked by some of the speakers. We think the EC is in general heading in the right direction. Neutrality is beneficial, and refarming is also a very helpful tool, but it will only be helpful on mid or long term. So it might be questioned whether a non-mandatory approach regarding the member states should be questioned. Those countries who are forcing the pace should not be slowed by harmonization, but for the others, guidance would be beneficial. The larger the markets, the better for competition, the better for economies of scale, and at the end for the consumer. Thank you very much.
Sorry, it's not very clear, the green line here. Light here. So, thank you very much. I said to all the speakers, I have to tell you that the timing was really perfect. Now we have 40 minutes for the debate. I open the floor for that, and any of you that want to intervene, taking into account that you cannot spend, unfortunately, more than 1 minute and a half. So 1 minute 30 seconds. So, yes, now some comments from our animator, which is, here with us.
No, I mean, Chairman, Mr. Reul said in his introduction that spectrum can be used for a panoply of application. But from a quick look at the list of participants, I think that it's a good reflection of the current allocation of spectrum between services today. And I was wondering whether the usual suspect could perhaps, to start with, give priority to perhaps emerging users of spectrum. I don't know whether in the room there are representatives of a green energy industry, from people that perhaps plan to use the disabled with wireless. Are there any such representatives in the room, then I would ask them to speak first.